thing for the
you're
object.
asking for a very powerful magical item, which she didn't have in her possession, and she gave you a map to such a thing.
Yeah, I actually did some deeper research onto it, and she would. While it is possible for me to take it from her, she would first need to have control over it. Then I would need to basically continuously roll Arcana until I got 25 or better.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of one of the reasons why fairies kind of circumvent things by keeping direct control.
There's along the way. Here, just give me a second. Just moves the sphere back and forth.
You can just imagine fairies having like these chains have various levels of connection and ability.
What's going on?
Oh wait, actually, Urban could be the one that finds thorns, or the replacement thorns.
We've got stuff for that, don't worry.
I mean, I just got here, so, you know, I'm just spitballing.
It's fine. New character's going to be very fun in many different ways.
What stuff are they?
I'll let you know when you see them.
No, I wasn't expecting to hear from the DM.
Hmm?
I don't know what I was expecting to hear.
Genuinely, I can't wait to play that character. That goes there, that goes there. There.
Okay. Hello. And welcome to the Marvellous Misadventures of Leo. I am, of course, the Forever DM, B. Railgun, also known as Brandon. And today it's just going to be, oh god, what are your names again? Oh, right, Simon and Chris, also known as Dorian and Ozen.
Wait, did you actually forget our names, or was that a joke?
Did I forget your names after I introduce you every single week? No.
Okay, like, I for a few seconds, I literally thought you forgot our names.
Who's this other voice in my ears that I'm hearing?
Also,
My
Chris,
delusions are just going great.
Chris, your name is literally on my screen because you on the Roll20.
That's why I was so concerned.
Last time, the party finally made it to the border between the Dwarven Empire and the Elven Empire. Well, one of the three border gate towns that exist. This one happens to be the northernmost town, known as Savenwald, also called the Gate of the North.
Mm.
And we have a map for it now.
It's crazy.
Because last time I wasn't sure we were actually going to get here, so I didn't bother preparing it.
Oh dear.
Now,
I was still really hoping to hear Lugs. How Lug would have gotten through border.
that would have been hilarious, but sadly, Lucid is still doing Lucid things.
Mm-hmm. Like moving and having a life. It's crazy.
It's disgusting, is what it is.
Mm.
So, you guys managed to cross the border without too much incident.
Yes.
So you've now crossed the middle island, and you've entered into the second half of it, which is officially Elven territory. So you guys are at least here.
Yay.
It was when you finally crossed over that Orpheer informed you that the carts basically aren't going to be useful past this point.
How do you know this?
Because he's lived in the Elven Empire for most of his life.
Oh.
That's why I keep mistaking him for an elf.
What he tells you is that one thing you really have to keep in mind is that they don't do traditional roads. You will only find those in actual towns.
Huh?
And they have wayfinders who keep track of the ways through the woods to the different elven cities. And unfortunately, the carts that you picked up from Hadra aren't really designed for what they're going to be facing traveling through the woods. We did a little bit of talking in the a little bit of talking since last time, trying to remember what the fuck happened way back in September. And what we have decided is that you guys bought your carts because it was cheaper than renting them, I think. And you're going to have to sell them here. I imagine Lugnar will take care of that,
That sounds like a thing that Lug and Ragnar should deal with,
since they were...
given it was Lug's money.
Well, it was literally Lug and Ragnar who bought the carts in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Adrin and Ara and who else is with us? Seltham and them. They are going to go and arrange a place for all of us to, kind of stay and keep our things while we're transitioning from our carts, because we've got to empty our carts before we can sell them, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, we could leave stuff in there, but that would be a bad idea.
yeah, it'd be a horrible idea. And that just leaves Ozen and Dorian, and then Orpheer's like, yeah, we can't just have those two running around. And he's like,
Is there a bakery there?
and they were like, okay, someone's gonna have to keep an eye on them. He says, and he turned around and everyone already had their fingers on their noses, and he's like, fuck.
Doran's already started to walk off.
Ozen grabs Dorian by the collar.
Ah! I've got things to do. Important things.
Orpheer's like, there is a bakery, but you're heading in the opposite direction.
I would have found it eventually.
Are you glad that I grabbed your collar?
Not in particular. But sure, let's go. I want to go to the bakery.
Right. So Orpheer will lead you down through the streets. Now, the bakery he's referring to is one of the good ones. There are many of them, but the one in the Artisan Quarter is, how do I say this? Just the best. Happens to
Awesome.
be associated with a tea house.
Ooh.
Mm.
What's the name of the tea house? If I may ask.
It's called the Golden Frond.
Mm. That sounds delightful.
Mm.
I'm gonna go into the place.
All right, you arrive there, And there's a woman manning the counter. You see, it's actually quite busy. It's about it's kind of like it's about midday, so a lot of people are coming in for just kind of a little snack to get them through the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
There's quite a long line. You do see that there are mountains of very delicate-looking foods.
So many baked goods here.
The interior has a lot of seemingly unnecessary and somewhat impossible curves and arches and things, as you would expect.
Well, not as impossible as how unique every single dwarven niche is.
No, it's certainly not like dwarven like dwarven stone carving.
This looks expensive.
But
I wonder how much it would cost for one of everything.
looking at it, one does occasionally wonder how it manages to be made. I mean, there are things that look so thin you feel like they would break if you touched them.
Oh. It's like paper wool and whatnot. Delightful. Is there a queue or?
Yes, there are about 5 people in line, and there are a couple other people knocking about, kind of perusing. And a couple of people have sat down at some of the tables to kind of, eat and talk. There's a patio outside with more people sitting down.
It's quite the establishment.
Oh yeah, there's also a harpist.
Huh.
Just kind of on a sort of dais off to one side, just gently strumming music. Everything's got a very chill, calm vibe to it.
Hey, Orafor,
Yes.
what do you recommend?
Let's see how good Orpheus' memory is. Oof. I need to find a way to increase Orpheus' intelligence.
I mean, there were those tomes that I brought up.
What?
There were those tomes that I brought up in the Discord.
You have to find one of those tomes in the first place. Orpheus, thinks for a moment, then he's like, I really don't recall.
How does one of everything sound?
Expensive.
Very expensive. I think it's going to be worthwhile. I have no idea how we're transporting this over the Elven lands.
Wait, why don't we just look at the immigration books that guy gave me? Maybe that has something.
Okay.
Should sound sensible.
Give me... What would you say? I guess just kind of a general... Let's call it wisdom, because you're not really trying to analyze information about it. You're just kind of going with a feeling. Just give me a wisdom check. Wow, okay.
That's pretty wise.
What kind of thing are you looking for in particular?
What you guys were asking about?
You mean what to buy?
Yeah, just looking for what to buy.
Yeah, I'm just helping you guys out with.
Okay, well, the thing this bakery is most well known for is something they call a cloud tart. Or tart, not tart. What's the fucking word? I'm blanking on a word. It's Basically, it's like a cheesecake, but
Right.
smaller.
I don't know the word for that.
A cupcake?
No, not at all. Why can I not remember the word? Kind of like a flan, but fluffy.
A fluffy flan.
Yeah, it's like so fluffy, in fact, that it actually jiggles.
Jello?
No, I know what you're talking. I know what you're talking about. IRL he doesn't like them at all, but I'm sure Dorian would love those.
I'm so annoyed that I can't remember the fucking word. But anyway, you know what I mean.
I think I'm gonna buy some of those. Once the line goes down a bit.
Okay, so you're standing in line and you see that yeah, people seem to just constantly leave with boxes of things. And then there are a few who get seated and order things, and then there are a couple who because there's a kind of side door to where they can go from the bakery into the tea house without actually going outside and back around.
Huh.
Yeah, they decided it was mutually beneficial for their establishments to have that kind of connection.
Does sound sensible.
And you see that it's not just elves here either. There are a couple humans, there's tieflings, there's even a gnome. But not like the gnomes you've seen before.
Okay.
This one must be one of the fabled wood gnomes. Or forest gnomes, excuse me, wood gnomes.
Forest gnomes. Huh. Let's try not to bring that attention up.
And they go through, they order their foods, and they go out. And then you finally get your chance to come up to line, and you see there's this very, very elegant looking elven lady tending the counter. And she looks down at you, and she has a very pleasant expression, and she's asking you what you would like.
Hi, we heard from the books that cloud cakes are very, very tasty. Could I have...
She goes, they
5.
certainly are. Best in the city.
Ooh. Could I have 5 of those, please?
Oh, I'm afraid they're so popular we actually have a limit of 2.
That means I can't share my friends.
No, I don't make the rules, hun, but I've gotta keep things fair here, and we can only produce so many at a time.
Oh, I can believe that. Then could I have 2 of those and... Something you would recommend. What would you recommend? Something that you would recommend, I don't know.
Well, she talks about, one of her favorite things is a kind of flaky cone that has these variety of fillings, usually some type of mousse. They have them in a variety of flavors. They have some that are filled with kind of like a lemon foam. One that is chocolate. There's one that's like pistachio.
I'm gonna also get one of the... Well, one of every single... Is it varying in flavors as separate ones, or is is it just one with a variety of flavors?
No, they have separate flavors.
Right, and I'll buy one of every single flavor.
Because the pastry itself is actually flavored with a complementary flavor to the filling flavor. So they are all very unique.
Yes, I'll buy one of every single flavor of that.
Okay.
Good.
Anything else you want?
I think that's it, unless, Ozen? Arthur?
No.
That's it?
Orpheer orders a dozen of a random assortment of these kind of sandwich things. They're almost they look like they could be cookies, but he says they're made of a kind of nut flour. Yes, Big Red, we are a bunch of nerds. Also, hello, Sophie. Almond paste. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Hint, they're macaroons. We come in pairs.
Apparently.
Wow. So
Straight up denial.
So you get all of these things, and she tells you that the total will be 5 gold.
Here you go. It's 6 gold. This looks delicious.
She giggles a little and tosses one of the gold into a jar at the side of the counter.
Yay! Got a whole bunch of baked goods. Now I have stuff from the Dwarven Empire, and I've got stuff from the Elven Empire. Delightful.
Orpheus suggests perhaps paying a visit to the tea shop.
Tea? It's never been a big thing for me.
No, but usually you can find something that will complement your pastries.
Sure. Let's go see that.
You go into the tea house, and the atmosphere is actually quite different to the bakery. The bakery is kind of open and like very warm and kind of fun, whimsical. The tea house is a bit more understated, right?
Mm-hmm.
People kind of sit down. They speak in very low tones.
It's a private tea house kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a very, very, very quiet and calm. The perfect place for Dorian, really.
Well, given how much Ozen has been through since he woke up, I am too.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say, Ozen, have you brought Ilaria with you?
I would never let her leave my sight.
So that's a big yes. Always yes.
Okay. Well, Ilaria kind of starts talking about how what a very quaint place this tea house is. It's nice, but not as nice as the tea house her family operates, of course.
Is that so? What tea house do you guys own?
Let me find her family and I can tell you. It's not one of those things I have off the top of my head. NPCs there. De Taurus, I think, is. It just says they opened a tea shop.
Ah, so what do you suggest then if you come from that sort of background? Because I have no clue anything about teas.
She begins talking about different styles that teas are prepared, some that are essentially flash dried, that are about as close as you can get to basically having it directly from the plant.
Interesting.
Some of them are fermented for different periods of time.
Sounds like tea I can give to Ragnar.
Not that kind of fermented. this type of fermenting is essentially just allowing the leaves to oxidize under variously controlled conditions. Some varieties are smoked, and they all complement different things. Of course, there are a wide variety of blends you can get. Some are treated with oils. Some have different herbs and flowers blended with them. So really, it just kind of comes down to what do you want it to pair with?
I'm gonna try and pair something with one of these cloud cakes.
Okay. As you make your way and sit down, I don't want to say serving wench, but a waitress comes and asks if how you can be served, and Ilaria takes it upon herself to order for you and herself and Ozen. Or if your requests what he would normally have. And she brings it out. It takes a good little while. And finally she returns with a platter that has in it a bunch of things. She begins to place things onto the table. She gives each of you your own cup, and then there's kind of like a she sets was essentially a sort of burner down, places the pot over top of it, and then there are little pots of the teas that you can then use to brew to the strength that you prefer. And she goes through, like, you know, how long they recommend, how much they recommend, etc.
This is a lot of work for some tea.
Well, the idea of tea in Elven culture is that it is an opportunity to sit down with people and talk about things. It's basically a social event. So it's not meant to be, you know, done quickly. It's meant to have time to sit and talk.
That makes sense in some way. I'm still going to totally request help.
You're going to what?
Request for help.
From whom?
The person whose family owns a tea shop. She kind of might know what she's talking about with tea, because Dorian has no clue. This is the first time someone has put a pot of tea and told him, you can brew it to this strength, you can do this, you can do that. It's a lot of stuff.
She finds it amusing, and she asks Dorian what strength he would like.
What do you mean by strength?
Like, how much flavor do you want it to have? Because depending on how much flavor you want, it can get quite bitter.
Bitter? Huh.
If you make it too strong. But some people like it that way.
What do you reckon? I guess I would say medium strength.
Yeah, she aliquotes a decent amount of leaves into your cup, and gently pours the water in. She does it very smoothly and without spilling a drop. Or if you're looks thoroughly impressed. What a strange war. What about you, Ozen?
I'll. Ozen is just like right all over. Like, I.
Are you able to follow directions given you by the waitress, or?
Or are you going to be like me and asking for help?
I'm going to try.
Okay. So I would consider this. What would you say, Simon? I think it would be reasonable to consider this a type of herbalism kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, technically it is herbalism.
Why don't you give
Don't
us
roll a one.
give me a medicine and a dexterity.
Okay, the medicine I feel a bit comfortable with. The dexterity, I'm like, oh shit.
Mr. Old Man. Congratulations, you managed to prepare a cup of tea. Although you were a little bit unsteady and you have sloshed some water onto the table.
I'll clean that up.
Ilaria mentions that she's kind of bemused by this. She says that wasn't a terrible attempt, but you'll have to do better than that if you wish to please her fathers.
Alright. By the way, do you have anything against Faye?
Why would elves have anything against Fae?
No, I wasn't saying... Oh, wait, no, you were responding as a lawyer.
It's like elves are descended from Fae. We live with them all the time. We literally have enchanted forests filled and tended by Fae.
Well, my grandmother was Faye, so I have this Faye whistle, so I wasn't sure how you would feel if I hold on to it.
Just like, well, it's not really any of her business what you do with the whistle that a fairy gives you. She does know that people are generally cautioned about making deals with such things, but it's just another part of life.
People do what people do. Also, this tea's very, very nice.
Oh yeah, it's got like a little hint of orange. Orange oil.
Mm.
It the mild sharpness of the tea actually cuts quite nicely through the fattiness of the cloud pudding thing.
Hum. Mm. This cloud pudding is very, very nice.
Oh yeah, like basically it goes into your mouth and it kind of fizzles a little bit, almost like it feels almost like it's evaporating. And like the flavor continues to intensify.
Huh. Delicious. Pure extraction from fake clouds.
Or if you're just kind of relaxed that things haven't gone awry.
Yet.
There's the key word.
Just chilling at a tea shop, you know.
Yeah, nothing could go wrong with that.
There's been more mundane things in our party that stuff has gone wrong in.
True.
Literally going on holiday and oh shit, the house is now trying to kill us.
That was a literal thing that happened. Alright, so, are you guys just going to sit around? Obviously, you guys have been sitting around having tea.
Hmm.
I assume you are aware of other things to do in the city as well.
So, do you guys want to do anything? We can go explore.
Malaria?
I mean, there are a lot of shops and things around town. This is the first time you've ever been in an elven area.
Hmm. I have an idea.
Yeah.
And Dorian just gets up and walks outside.
Iron Defender, you know what to do. Oh, sorry, Steel Defender. I forgot they updated that.
Yeah. Alright, so you guys wrap up. Order for your pays for the tea.
Mm.
It's a very nice tea. It's another 4 gold. A lot of gold exchanges hand in this city.
Maybe I should get some money so I'm not just this broke guy barely
Do
getting
you need
by.
money?
You guys are in the artisan quarter as well, so there are all kinds of craftsmen. There are shops that sell a wide variety of items, including some special items.
That's what I was gonna go do. Actually, surprisingly, to everyone's shock, Dorian's actually waiting outside for everyone else to wander out.
Yeah, because the Steel Defender is around your leg.
I'm not allowed to leave.
Go, Project Ankle Brace.
But now everyone's outside. I wanted to go and see some shops, see some buildings, see something interesting and weird that I haven't seen here before.
Okay. Any particular kind of shop you want to look for?
Something magic-y.
Alright. Well, there is an actual Enchanter Shop.
Ooh.
I was just thinking, you know, you could have just asked me.
I don't care. I still want to see what they have here. I know you can do stuff, but who knows what other weird stuff they might have here? Like, could you, for instance, make a never melting ice cream?
This isn't Willy Wonka.
You never know. It's an enchanting shop. Buy some elves. There's a small chance.
Touche.
Okay. You, the Enchanter, is there, selling his wares. He sees you, coming up, and he, greets you. He must be a very old elf. I mean, he doesn't really look it in the face, but there's like a streak of gray in his hair.
And I'm going to look around his shop just for a moment.
Alright, well, they have a wide variety of items, mostly weapons. There's like bows, scimitars, swords, and because a lot of these are meant to be used by elves, they're all kind of curvy and they have very intricate kind of natural-looking detail work. You know, things like leaf patterns and vines and that sort of thing.
Do the little ones over and go, "Hi! It's a lovely place you have here."
Oh, absolutely, sir.
What are those things that I was half paying attention to? That you have?
They're quite. We have quite a wide variety of. Not really sure where this accent has gone.
Yeah, I was like, wait, is this Dorban or is this elf?
He's just, he's been living in the border towns for so long. He's been absorbing the accent from so many places. It just slips down then.
Actually, it does make sense.
Yeah, I mean, for all you know, he's lived all of his life here in this town.
Precisely, so sometimes the accent slips.
They are mostly they're just standard enchants, things that make them sharper, never dull, never break, that sort of thing.
Huh. Still a pretty sweet enchantment. Do you have anything more interesting?
Well, there are things that could be of interest, although I'm not certain you would be able to afford such things.
Maybe not. But it's good to see where I'd one day want to get something. You know, maybe come back in the future with some more money.
Give him a charisma.
I was so close to rolling an 18.
Wow. He's like, well, the thing of it is, there are people who come and go through this town all the time. And if I were to show you something and you were to not be able to afford it, there's no guarantee that it would be here the next time you came through.
True. I will give you that. But do you have something within the price range of around 470 gold?
He kind of tilts his head, puts his hand on his chin. Possibly. This way, if you would. He motions to a sort of curtains that were on the wall. Then he kind of pulls back, and you see it's a staircase that goes up.
Ooh. After you, or should I go first, or... I don't know how this really works.
You go through.
Okay. And I'll wander my way up.
And he goes, we haven't quite figured out what we want to advertise it as. But it's something that we recently came by. And we're not, in truth, entirely certain what it is.
Hmm?
He leads you into a room upstairs. And, you see there's a sort of... It's about 2 inches long.
Mm-hmm.
It has a loop on one end through which there is kind of like a very thin-looking silver chain.
Right.
And it's essentially a rod, but the ends of it are kind of forked in a way that suggests it might fit into some sort of mechanism.
Huh. Have you had someone try to, like, identify what this is?
Oh, absolutely.
But it's...
There appears to be some sort of peculiar ward on it. Like, we can feel that there is indeed magic involved with it. But we're not entirely sure quite what it is. It seems to be obscuring itself.
Mind if I take a look?
As far as I'm aware, you're not here.
Yeah, did you follow me up?
Yeah.
I was the one who offered the 470 gold.
I mean, you're probably looking around at some of the jewelry and things that they have, because, you know.
So, my friend downstairs, he's good with things. He makes things and does things. Maybe he can help shed some light, if you wouldn't mind.
He makes things.
He's one of those, yes, he's one of those kinds of people who tries to enchant some small things, tweak some small... He made something pretty cool, actually. Do you want to see it?
Sure.
And I say the activation words to get the armor activated for the very first time in forever.
What was your activation phrase?
I can't remember anymore. It was like a really simple orcish word that translated to like cupcakes or something like that.
Why was it orcish?
I think it was Draconic.
I think it was,
Oh, it might be Draconic.
Underdark?
I don't remember
Do you
anymore.
speak any of those languages?
No, but it was
No.
just the words that he Ozen chose because it sounded cool,
Ah,
but he had no clue what it meant.
right.
Hence why it's like ends up as a cupcake or something silly like
You
that.
have this very, very impressive sounding word issues from your lips, and the armor deploys itself. And his eyebrows go up a little bit. Oh, that is actually quite unique.
Yes.
He starts looking at it. The
It's like-
craftsmanship is a bit peculiar.
Yeah. I hear it's from another time.
Certainly not very elven.
Hmm.
Oh god. He started to go back into dwarf. Not very dwarven either.
Oh dear.
Well, I don't.
He knows things.
I
He
don't.
makes
I don't
things.
suppose. I don't. Oh god, lost it again. I don't suppose it'd do any harm. He's just gonna be a person who has floating accents. We're just gonna have to deal with it.
I'll go grab him. I'll go down the stairs. Hey Ozen.
God, what did you do?
I activated my armor. That's all I did. I need your help.
Okay.
There's a shiny thing upstairs that the Enchanter has some idea of what it is, but has no clue what it is.
Oh, okay.
So maybe you can come
that's
help.
than I was worried about.
Then I say the activation word again to deactivate it.
I was like looking at myself and I'm like, why is like my mouth brighter than the rest of my face? And I realized it's because the light is being obscured by the microphone. Let's see.
Need to move that light.
Yeah. Whatever. Not that important. Ultimately, I want to be able to get a ring light, but I need to probably wait until at least the next pay period.
Yeah. It's a weird shiny thing. You should enjoy it. And I bring Ozen upstairs.
Okay.
So you need some help identifying something?
Need is probably a bit strong.
Desire.
Am curious.
Alright, we'll go with that.
Alright, so he shows you the weird key-looking thing.
And what's the problem with this?
Oh, we just want to know what it is. There's no issue with it, as far as I know. You know, just want to see what it is before I decide to spontaneously buy it, because that's kind of what I do.
Oh. Alright.
So...
So what do you need to do to figure it out, Ozen?
Well, I was waiting for Brandon to tell me what to roll, but I just guessed Arcana because I'm trying to find out what this magical origin is.
Right, but what you've not done is you've not really clarified what are you trying to determine and how.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Which then kind of dictates what I would like you to roll to achieve said goal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're in a magic shop. Is there anything specific about this you are curious about, or
I want to know what it does. I want to know its history. I want to know, does it have friends? Does it have other things that are like it?
Well, what he can tell you about it is that it was bought at auction.
Mm-hmm.
It was said to have been found in an ancient temple that's been abandoned,
Huh.
and that they think it might have some sort of religious significance or might open something. They don't really know. They just kind of decided to pawn it off, I guess, they couldn't figure it out.
Huh. Was there any specification of which kind of temple or where the temple was that they acquired this from?
I think it was a temple to Deep Shelchus.
Huh. Interesting.
Or so it said.
If only we had our elf friend up here to figure out which, if that's anything relevant to our current story.
Well, it being found in a temple doesn't necessarily make it a part of religious iconography.
Well, it's still part of the temple. If it was found in the temple, could have been there for any reason.
Right. Why would Orpheus know more about that than, say, another elf would?
He's the elf that's nearby. That we know properly.
I mean, aside from...
Oh yeah, aside from your to-be wife. But hey, Alison, can you see what sort of magical house this is maybe coming from? Kind of magic? What kind of sorcery its magic is?
All right,
I can't do words.
I'll take a look at it.
Okay. What are you looking for in it?
What kind of magic it was interwoven with? What kind of... How long ago it was interwoven? No, I'm kidding.
Does it have friends? That's a very important question too.
Just
Might be alone.
like what kind of magic it is in nature.
Why don't
Because
you
that's...
investigate it?
Where is investigation? Oh,
In the eyes.
that one.
This
is certainly something that would take me more than one night.
So your initial pass over it doesn't really yield anything particularly special. It appears to be something that slides into some kind of mechanism. There aren't any obvious, in the design of it, there isn't anything obvious to indicate the type of origin it might have. It, interestingly though, it looks to be all one piece. Should make another investigation.
Oh, I actually passed?
No.
Oh, okay.
If you pass, I wouldn't need you to make an investigation again.
Oh, come on!
This time I'll help. This time I'll attempt to help out a bit. You know, think if it reminds me of like anything that I read in the book or
Okay.
something.
You also give me an investigation.
Nice.
Okay. Make a history check.
Yep, that seems important. History. Nice.
Wow. Okay.
It's to do with books, so obviously it's going to be good.
You've well, no, actually.
As in, it comes from a book learning background. That's what I was trying to get out from.
As you look at the way that the material flows and the things, like, the lines in it don't appear to be any kind of language or anything as you might normally expect. But there's something familiar about them. About the way it's just overall its appearance. It reminds you of something you've seen somewhere.
Can I roll some sort of like intuition to
I would
try
like
to figure out?
I would like Ozen to roll a history for me. Yeah, now that you're thinking about it, you realize you've seen something very similar as well.
Oh no.
On a shelf, you recall. And the door's like, yeah, there was a place with a whole bunch of shelves and a bunch of things sitting on them. And some of them looked like they were this same kind of material with this similar kind of lines running through them.
I don't remember the line specifically, but I do remember the shelves now.
I'm perceptive. I noticed these things.
It's a semi pocket dimension thing, if I've got the link correct.
Dorian realizes something. He picks up the item, or the key thing.
Asking permission first.
Obviously, I mean, you know, it's like you're examining it, obviously. So, and then Dorian recalls that he has a weird wand thing in one of his pockets. And when he puts them side by side, sure enough, very similar material is used in this wand that he got from a place.
Huh.
What he didn't anticipate, however, was that there was a kind of spark transferred from his wand to this key thing.
It's unlocked.
And the key thing begins to glow.
I'm going to put the key thing down.
You see that it glows, and then it gets dim and dim, stops glowing, and it starts over again. And it just kind of keeps doing that.
So, I think I've done something. I think your product's slightly defective. It clearly wasn't doing that when I originally picked it up.
He's like, you activate it, you bought it.
How much would you want to part from it? Oh dear.
Let's see what mood he's in. Oh.
Oh no.
He's like, well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. We invested 200 gold in acquiring this item at auction.
Mm-hmm.
And you can imagine we would like to recuperate that.
I can imagine at least 200. With some profits.
Now, clearly, you have interacted with this type of weaponry before, he says, noting the one that you have. It suggests to
Right.
me that you might know something about it.
Knowing is definitely half the battle, as I remember someone saying.
Give me a, I guess, give me a persuasion. Wow.
Almost as good as it can go for me.
He's like, since I don't imagine anyone who doesn't have that peculiar type of thing you have would be very
Nipples up his
interested in
wand.
this, I'm willing to accept 200.
That seems fair.
Ozu pulls out his wand and sees if it interacts.
200.
Okay.
That seems more than fair.
He,
Yeah, alright.
you do so, Ozan, and it doesn't seem to react.
Oh no.
It just kind of keeps its glowing pattern up. It's very consistent every 5 seconds. It's basically a 5-second cycle.
200 gold. Here you go.
Alright, now I have a glow stick.
And I will give the guy 210 gold.
He lets you know that you've overpaid.
It's a bit of rounding, that's all. I'm sure we might see each other again in the future.
He insists that you must have your he insists that it must go at the appropriate price.
It's for tax reasons or something like that?
Personal honor.
Hey, you had to bring it all the way out to here to sell it, to coincidentally sell it at the same time someone with the same material was here. You deserve the 10 gold profit. It's not right leaving a shopkeeper with 0 profit. Yes, breaking even is fine and all, but doesn't pay rent. So here you go.
Yeah, he's not going to fight any further.
261 gold. Sweet. Still got plenty of gold.
Do you have that much gold? Mind sharing? Just handing some over to me.
Outside the shop. No, I'll hand over 100 gold to Ozen. Here you go.
Okay.
Don't spend it all on candy, because that's my job.
I don't exactly have the same sweet tooth as you.
Okay, so
You've now got an additional 100 gold. Sweet.
you've now got a glowy key thing.
Nice. I'm gonna go downstairs and go to Arthur and say, "Hey, look! I got a glow stick!"
Or if here's like, what does it do?
I have no idea, but I spent 210 gold on it.
I think it's from the tower where you found me.
Mm.
No, I put my weird one thing next to this thing, and the one thing and this thing interacted, and it made it start glowing. So I'm still going to call it the 210 gold glow stick.
That seems like a bad idea.
Ah, it's fine. Probably. Oh, before we leave, also, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
I don't remember. I got this ring. It's classed as an inert ring. I can't remember. This was the ring I think I got from the water Genasi town. I can't remember what it does anymore, but it's in my inventory as inert ring.
Gonna be honest with you, I don't remember what it does.
I think it was when I was trying to find a natural ring of protection, and I was granted this, but I don't remember what it does, and it's been so long.
Oh, you never attuned to it.
No, I didn't. I didn't touch it because it was classed as inert. So I thought, you know.
Yeah, it's inert because you have to attune with or identify it to know what it does.
When I read inert, I read it doesn't have any magical properties.
If that were the case, it would just say ring.
Well, when I say that, I mean no magical properties it needs to be woken up via a process of, you know, pouring magic back into it, man, or whatever.
Hmm.
Getting it to wake up. That's what I read that as, and that's why I never touched it.
But you
Okay.
never considered giving it to the artificer.
Nope, I just remembered that existed right now because I read through my character sheet. It's just how it goes.
Okay, so you've got a ring, and you're going to what?
Do you, by any chance, do you know anywhere I could get this, like, someone to, I don't know, turn this on, whatever it is you do to bring the magic back into rings?
Well, you.
Just looks up and is like,
It's like, well, perhaps you could try a thaumaturgist.
Oh, I only got one of those. Cool. The thaumaturgist. That's why do I have 4 tridents?
Why do you have
two to
4?
throw and one to stab.
I think you looted them from from the fortress in Valara.
All this time, just Dorian's been running around. It's just four tridents, just, you know, rustling on his back.
You also have a rusty, corroded letter.
Yeah, letter opener.
Oh,
That was from the
a letter open.
that was from the Dwarven ruins.
Oh right.
That's the same place where we got the doily.
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm. The partial numbers should probably have gone down to like 8 by now, because I know I've used 2 of them. Got lots of random stuff. It's beautiful.
Yeah. You also have a map of Galdbar Altamir for some reason.
Yep, because that comes with the background of my character. Just a map of your hometown.
And you just have a book of lore.
Yep. It's one of the books I took from the library in the mountains. By library, you mean a room with 23 books. Maybe that's the reason why Master Goose is haunting my dreams. She wants her book back.
Oh yeah, and you have a dwarven sigil.
Yep. Which I don't remember at all what to do with that.
I imagine you were supposed to ask someone when you were in the dwarven realms.
That does sound about right. Oh well.
Oh, and you got 1 healing spell bead left.
Mm-hmm. That's for when one of us decides to go and pass out.
Well, what are you gonna do with your tridents then?
Hey, it's a shopkeeper. Do you know anyone who likes buying stuff from people? A pawn shop of some kind, maybe,
There is,
or a
I
weaponry
mean,
shop.
there's a pawn shop. And there are several blacksmiths and weapon shops in town.
Would the weapon shops be interested in buying weapons from different regions?
Sometimes.
Well, I think then I'm gonna go try my luck. Thank you very, very much.
Okay, so did you want to go to a thaumaturgist
No, actually,
about your inert ring?
I'm gonna go outside and go, hey, Ozen,
Yes.
you know stuff about stuff, right?
Yeah.
Could you figure out this ring?
Alright, let
Okay.
me see.
Investigate it.
Oh, why does my investigation have to be so bad?
Because you didn't choose it as a skill.
That's not bad.
See, that's not terrible. You look at it and you can see the clear marks of enchantment on it. It probably has just been drained and just needs to be given a little spark, and then once attuned, it would carry on its activation. Roll me an Arcana. Wow. You you kind of hold it in your hands. You begin to channel some magic into it, and you see the enchantments woven into the material beginning to glow.
Oh.
And you
Okay.
have you've revived unidentified magic ring.
It's a magical ring. Some kind.
Now I'm going to change the title up to unidentified magic ring.
Well, luckily for me. Just give me a minute, actually. I'm gonna sit down with the ring, pull out the card, and cast Identify. Because luckily, that's a card which I actually have.
Okay, you sense within the ring defensive and protective magic.
Ooh.
What the fuck are they called again?
It's a ring of protection of some kind?
Yeah, that's it. Ring of protection. It's like a protection ring. Yeah, it's a bog standard ring of protection.
You know what? This would have been helpful a lot.
Yeah.
+1 AC, +1 to any all my saving throws. Fuck, my intelligence saving throw would be crazy.
There you go. Ring of protection.
Sweet. Hey, Ozen,
Yeah.
do you ever feel you need some more defense? Maybe some
mean,
protection.
You know, if you were Ragnar, I would think you were talking the other kind of protection.
Not that kind of protection.
Yeah, that's why I said the other kind of protection.
But here, I've got a present for you, and I'll give him the ring of protection.
Okay.
It's all yours. It's worth it.
Alright.
Can now gain additional AC and +1 to saving throws once you attune to it. Enjoy!
I had a spell that would make things attuned faster.
You just do it over a long rest.
Because it's not a thing that you do actively.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing, you're getting used to whatever you're using. Like when you're attuning to a weapon, like a sword or a battle axe, like swinging it, getting a feel for it, trying it out.
Essentially, what it's doing is it's connecting with your
I
natural
know,
magic field.
You know,
And it takes time for it to get a taste for you.
Mm-hmm. Just, try it out. See what it does.
Oh yeah, did any of your
none of my
do any of your infusion things require attunement?
no active ones do.
All right. Let's see.
Okay. So
Alright, so anything, do you want to go see anybody about those tridents, Dorian?
Yes, I'd love to go offload these tridents into someone. If only if we had Ragnar, he would be able to sing the songs of how great and wonderful these spears are. Because I have no clue about pointy things.
Or if your points, like you, or if your notices that you pull
yeah,
out
it was in
these tridents, and he's like,
like,
he's like, wait a minute, don't those belong to the sea elves?
Do they? I'm not sure. Because they would have definitely asked for these back from me by now.
Why would they ask you about the tridents you've been keeping in your bag of holding?
These have not been in the bag of holding, deep in my back. Otherwise, they'll be in the bag of holding inventory.
Yeah.
Actually, if the bag of holding does get torn, it will explode.
Yeah, but trident's not going to tear a bag of holding.
Yeah, it needs a magical item to tear it open.
Dorian had a bunch of tridents wrapped up in a cloth on his back and just forgot about them, just carrying them around everywhere. Well, it's like, well, how would they know to ask for them if you got them bound up like that?
They would have to have some precognition about missing their spears, but nobody's asked them.
I mean, they've kind of had their entire existence uprooted. It probably didn't occur to them to think, oh, maybe this random person has some of our shit.
The same random person who saved them and wandered out for them. What do you want me to do with them? Then I just don't want to be carrying these.
How about look at them first?
Sure, we can look at them.
Okay.
Just carry random crap? Never.
I identify them, or not identify. Investigate them.
That's a 17.
Alright, as you're looking at them, you do see that there are things written into the handles of the sphere and in some of the words. The trim. And you can't read it, but you do recognize it is using the Sylvan script as Elvish does.
Mm-hmm.
And you see designs of coral and dolphins and other types of sea-related paraphernalia. And as you're looking at it, the way that pieces of it curve and look unnecessarily delicate, you think, oh, wait a minute. But they are strength spears you lifted off of some of the elves' who had been transformed into mana ghouls.
Mm-hmm.
You'd recovered from the fortress.
So
I mean, it's up to you. They've been in your possession for 3 months, and according to all rules of finding and keeping, they are rightfully yours.
I'm gonna be honest, I want these out of my inventory, so either way, I could just give these back. Sure.
Okay. Orchard's like, I'll take those.
Yes. You take the shot the stabby things, and yes, that seems definitely sane.
I actually don't think Orchard's proficient with tridents. But that's
But
fine.
he's the more sensible one.
I saw a really fun rule that was like, if you exclusively use a weapon for an entire level, you basically gain proficiency on it. And I like that idea.
I like that idea too. Yeah.
Because like, you weren't like trained for it, but just by sheer fact of using it so much, you've developed a proficiency with it.
Yeah. I think that's everything on my list. Beyond just exploring the town more.
Well, we could try and get some work. Hex coin.
Sure. Work sounds like effort, but sure.
Yeah, haven't we had enough effort?
I've been enjoying this little vacation that we've been having here.
Alright, then.
No, let's get some work. Maybe something interesting will happen. Who knows? We might be attacked by rabid wolves or something silly like that.
I actually think that is one of the possibilities in Xander's Guide to Everything.
Hmm?
I think that actually is a possibility in Xander's Guide to Everything.
Yeah. Xenopha's Guide. Definitely. Love it. Love all the random encounters that they have there.
Okay, so you guys have kind of been farting around all day, and the sun's starting to go down now. But of course, the activity doesn't really change very much because many elves only need 4 hours to get rested.
And face that apparently now.
But as it does become night, you see that a lot of people do seem to kind of be gathering around in outside spaces. There's kind of like a lot of general chatter. There's like singing and dancing, and everyone just seems to kind of be making merry. It's kind of like, business during the day, fun once the sun goes down.
This seems delightful. I wasn't wanting to come join me and see what's going on over there.
I think I know what's going on. Maybe.
Before he gives a proper response, Dorian started to walk towards it.
I follow suit.
Okay. This could actually be a good chance for Ilaria to get to have a little bit of fun, by the way. Since she is an entertainer. Oh, here we go. So, Ilaria pulls out a remind me what a lyre is.
Stringed instrument. It's got 2 or 3 strings with a rounded body.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one I want. Well, something that's not horribly huge or fiddly.
Yeah, it's smaller.
But Ilaria decides to take this opportunity now that the sun has gone down and people are starting to merrymaking. She pulls out her lyre and she begins to kind of just perform as she goes down the street. Very good performance. And she begins to sing a sort of epic tale. It is in Elvish, however. And you see that people from just around the street kind of begin following her.
Just have to Pied Piper.
Well, it's kind of the thing of they're joining in to the telling of the tale that she's recounting. It's just a thing that elves do. They like to go around singing about the deeds that their ancestors did, wars that they, basic heroes and things, that kind of storytelling through song.
Eventually, one of those stories might be your one, Ozen.
Ozen just pushes Dorian, like, shut up.
Sure.
And people actually begin to recognize her. Because, of course, she is known.
Oh, shit. Here comes the competition.
I think she's in the bag, don't worry.
Well, it's mostly that she's
I did kind of force my way.
Yeah, it's like she's literally a minor celebrity.
Yep. So people do know the minor celebrity, and they're going, "Huh? Never thought of see that person here."
Yeah. And let's see. Wow. I guess she's engrossed in her performance, so she may not notice. That's not high enough. That's not high enough. Oh, there you go. Ozen.
Yes?
Your passive perception is extremely high.
Indeed.
And,
It's too high.
yeah, it's kind of stupidly high. Are you a wisdom caster? No, you're an intelligence caster. Why is your wisdom so high?
I want to mix it up with flavor.
It's generally not how building a character works.
Well, maybe I didn't want to be meta. Maybe I wanted to actually give myself a challenge.
Yeah, that'd be like Orpheus being an archer, and then instead of having 21 dex, he has 21 charisma. And 8 dex. Just be silly.
I mean, if you're an archer and you start firing arrows, you can just fire an arrow, miss, and just shout out, "I totally hit you," and convince the other person that you totally hit them.
I kind of rationalize it this way. It's like when you're building a character and you have the stat, right? It's like, much like the real world, people who have aptitudes tend to fall into careers that meet their aptitudes. Mostly because if they try to go against that and they have no aptitude for what they're doing, they generally don't do that very well.
Yeah. Incompetent characters are the fun characters.
So, from a lore perspective, artificers are wizards, and wizards are wisdom casters. So
They are not. Wizards are intelligence casters.
Yeah, wizards are intelligence.
They've always been intelligence casters.
fuck, I even screwed that part up. Oh my god, I'm an idiot.
Is it sorcerers that are wisdom?
No, sorcerers are charisma.
Yeah.
Wisdom casters are rangers, druids, and what the fuck's the other one? Clerics.
Clerics, yes. I'm surprised cleric is not charisma as well.
I think they rationalize it in that you have to be wise to interact with the god, and the powers theoretically coming from the god.
True. This also could be like sort of like trying to persuade the god, hey, I need your help right now. Please don't let me down.
Well, I think the god's just kind of passively, oh, this is a person who's one of my clerics. Power granted. And then I think the only time they need to have that charisma is when they're like special pleading from the god.
Mm-hmm.
Like, pretty please
That's the
allow
one
this person to not die.
Or
beautiful 1d100 that you can do on the as a cleric, where you can call for the god to help.
Divine intervention.
That's it.
Yeah, that's always fun. I mean, in fairness, your intelligence is only one modifier lower than your wisdom. It's just really fun. It's just kind of amusing, honestly. So it's not like you're incompetent with your intelligence.
It's not your strong suit. Strongest suit.
Yeah, it's still a pretty fucking strong suit. Also, how did he get to be 19?
19.
Yeah, because, like, theoretically you've had ability score improvements, because you're, at least one, because you're a level 7. So you would have had the level 4 ability score improvement. Why would you leave anything ever as odd? Because that doesn't give you a modifier level.
I don't know anymore.
You've built this character in a very peculiar fashion, is all I'm saying. Or maybe I just think that because I spent so many times, like, making characters for NPCs.
I think we all have. We're all DMs at one point.
Yeah, but I don't know. So I don't know anyone other than me who has to sit down and think about, okay, well, I need to make these 6 characters in case thing.
I usually just repaint characters that aren't used, so I don't have to think of new ones.
Well, see, that's the thing. Because I have the Character Mancer, it's very easy to just go create new character. Okay, this one needs to be a this, this, and this. And then you get to the things like, okay, point buy, they need this skill, that skill, and everything else can either be average or maybe they're a little bit frail. Okay, they'll have a lower strength and everything, that kind of thing.
Oh, I know what happened. So since I was so stupid, powerful in wisdom, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to own this and get to level 20 while also increasing my intelligence.
Right.
I think that's what happened.
Still a really odd choice.
Whatever, it's art. What's done is done.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on the bright side, when you guys get to the next level, you'll have that go up.
Mm.
Yeah, eventually though, you guys wind up at a tavern because that's how these things always go.
Yep.
It being an elven tavern, it's a little bit different to the ones you've normally gone to in that most of the activity seems to be outside rather than in. They've got several kind of bonfires set. And the inside of the tavern, the lower level, is basically just one giant kitchen. And they have these, they have like a window where you can go up and order things, and they'll give food and drink and whatever. So it's a little bit like a, what's the thing? Like a tiki bar kind of thing. Of course, here it is the north in late autumn.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people are kind of they have like their furs and things, but they seem to prefer to be outside rather than inside anywhere. Dorian doesn't really notice because he's basically living fire.
What is cold?
Yeah, pretty much. Ozin, you're probably starting to feel a little bit of a chill, though.
Well, yeah, letting Ilaria use my jacket.
She wouldn't need to use your jacket.
He's still gonna offer it because he's a good man like that.
Fair enough. And there are several people sitting around having conversations. Some people have keep up their little dancing and singing, and it's kind of noisy, actually. You have trouble really discerning any of the conversations. You're not even quite sure how they're doing it, but you figure if this is how you grew up, maybe you just get used to it.
You did give me the Fey hearing, so I mean, I can probably.
Yes, being able to hear, and then is a separate thing to.
I didn't say I
able
understood.
to
I just said I
process
was able to
information.
hear. So, like, I'm not hearing those gaps that Dorian is probably hearing.
Well, you also don't speak their language yet.
Yet.
Oh yeah.
Well-
I don't think Stream knows about that. I don't even think Simon does, but Ozin has convinced Ilaria to start teaching him Elvish.
Huh.
And because of the way we do it, I have a table of different skills that can be learned, and some of them have different hardness difficulty levels, and require either like 1,000, 1,500, or 2,000 hours as a base cost of learning.
Mm-hmm.
And then you divide that by your intelligence score, and that will give you how many days it will take you to learn.
Can we chuck it up to 250?
Huh?
Can we chuck it up to like a total of 250 days?
No, it's 1,000 divided by 17, which came up to I think 53 days.
Oh.
That's actually a lot faster than I thought.
That's 53 solid days of working, I'm guessing.
No,
That's pretty
it's
quick for an entire
it's actually it's literally 15. It's a 58 or well 59. Excuse me, 59 8-hour periods.
Yes, so 59 days of actually learning it.
Yeah, like
Well, I mean,
like a learning day.
all right, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's the similar concept to college. It basically it will take you a semester. It'll take you a semester to learn Elvish.
That makes
We
much
got a
more
whole
sense.
semester, but a good portion.
But it actually did take, and you should probably make a note of this. Actually, here, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go onto your sheet.
Make a counter and have it counting down.
I'm going to add a class resource, and we're going to call this Learning Elvish. Alright, you start with 59. And that's what you're going to be counting up to. Well, no, actually, yeah, let's do a countdown. That makes more sense. And then it took you guys 5 days to get here from Stone Rock. I imagine there probably wasn't a lot to do in the cart.
Right.
So there you go. You've got 54 days. You've got 54 days of learning Elvish down. Which means you're basically at the Hola como está
Basically.
phase of Elvish.
If I just said hello, then just continued to speak in common, that probably insulted more than anything.
I hope they're not like the French. Going into Paris and knowing some words in French and not other words pisses the French people off so much that I know. Holy hell.
I think I talked to you last night, Simon, about how elves consider things a little bit, briefly.
Yeah, you talked a lot about the half-elves and how they're interacting for plot reasons.
So, though, there are people around the tavern having various little conversations.
I'm gonna go get us some food. You guys should probably find a table.
I was kind of expecting you to say get a room.
That's later.
Why would Dorian ask the three of us to get a room?
You're right, that's Ragnar.
Yep, that's later. I'm not going to sleep yet.
I mean, I have to ancestry now, so I go to trance.
No, you don't.
Nope,
That
that's
was-
no thing.
That trance is an elf-specific thing.
Oh,
Fey
right.
ancestry is advantage on
Yeah,
making saves
saving
and
on
being,
charmed and
being
sleep.
charmed. Yeah. Because elves
Fair
aren't,
wage.
elves aren't the only ones who get Fey ancestry, but they are the only ones who get trance. Because that has to do with the thing with their souls.
Because elves, they're fun. So Dora's gonna walk up to it's the window thing. Is there any menu?
There is. It's a very, very simple menu.
Hmm.
Basically, the idea is they kind of just serve the same things, but they have like seasonal variations.
Right.
So because it's cold, they serve a hearty root stew,
Ooh.
and they offer mulled wine and hot cider.
That all sounds delicious.
If you'd like, you could also get crusty bread
Mm-hmm.
and something called seed cakes.
Seed cakes.
Mm.
Okay. Dorian will order. Yeah, sure. Hasn't asked anyone. Hasn't anything like that. He's gonna order from his intuition. So this will go wonderfully.
Right.
He's going to order one mulled wine,
Okay.
two ciders,
Right.
He's going to order 3 bits of crusty bread
You said
and
two
4
onions.
of the stew soup thing.
How much bread did you say? 3 pieces of bread?
3. 3 bread.
Okay. And what was that last bit you said?
And 4 of the main meal. Because there's only 4 of us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the stew soup thing. Can't remember what it was.
It was
The hearty
stew.
stew. Yeah.
Okay. Well, they tell you that that comes to 98 silver. But if you'd like, you can make that a gold, and they'll give you 2 seed cakes.
Awesome. Here's a gold.
Okay. They take the gold, and they give you a kind of tray thing, and they set all your things on there. And the seed cakes are kind of like about the size of a biscuit. And you can see where they get their name from because they seem to be chock full of little seeds.
Nice. I'm gonna turn to see if the others have actually found a table to sit at.
Well, the tables are kind of interesting in that they're about the size of the serving tray that you've been given. And they don't really seem to have seats.
Awesome.
But you know that they're a little bit higher than it's almost like a sort of counter height.
Right.
Your Dorian will give you a boost.
Thank you, and I put the tray down onto a table that hopefully they're standing by.
Yep, they're standing by a table.
Good. Here's stuff for everyone. Didn't know how much mulled wine or anything to get, so I just randomly chose some things.
I just imagine Ocean using his Iron Defender like as a step.
Why?
Just sitting down on the Iron Defender. It's like,
Well, no, like to get up over the counter height thing.
it's supposed to be, instead of being table height, it's higher. So instead of sitting down by the
It's
table,
higher
you're
so that
standing
you
by
can
the table.
stand by it.
It's a standing it's like a standing desk.
Pretty
Oh,
much, yeah.
right.
It's a standing desk, but it's a table.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were describing the air things, and I was like, what?
But yeah, so you have this table where you can stand up, and the idea is that it's so that people can very easily join into the dancing and singing that goes on around the fires.
Awesome.
So you have your meal. Ozen, you feel warmed up by all of this going on, and because you're near the bonfires, it's actually starting to kind of take the chill out of the air.
Either that or historian.
Huh?
Either that or historian.
It's probably the giant bonfire, to be honest. That's kind of why they exist. What you do notice, what you do notice though, is there doesn't really seem to be a breeze where you are, but you can see not too far off. You can see leaves kind of being carried on the wind.
This world is full of surprises.
And just to make it clear, you guys are in what is kind of in an area that's kind of enclosed off by these sort of stone banisters. And you start to wonder about this, and you go to reach for the top of the banister, and you realize that there's something there.
Mm-hmm.
Not again.
It's like it's so completely invisible that you can't actually see it, but it feels as solid as a stone wall.
Um,
Okay, so I'm going to throw this out here for you. Things that a normal person might do. I'm in a strange homeland. I'm with people who are from here, and I have the ability to ask them questions when I discover things that are a bit peculiar that I don't understand. Just kind of throwing that out there.
So, Larry, why do I feel something above me?
I'm not above you, next to you.
Oh,
I said
next.
wall, not ceiling.
Oh. Why do I feel something next to me, but I don't see anything?
She goes, she explains to you that, this is what they call, Theraglass. It's a type of magic that's put in place, when they essentially built the structure.
Interesting.
Although she doesn't use the word built, she says when they grew the structure, but you assume she meant built.
I assume she's like interchanging Elven and Common with me to try and teach me, or is that what she said in Common?
Well, you're not at the conversational stage of learning a language. She's kind of just working on just basic vocabulary building, so she wouldn't do that. So it would be in common.
I'm sorry, grew like a plant?
She kind of looks at you kind of funny. He's like, sort of, but no.
Well, I don't want to bombard you with questions, so
I mean, it's a pretty perfect opportunity to start bombarding her with questions.
you want to go, Dorian?
Hmm? What?
You want to ask?
Well, I honestly, I wasn't paying attention. What did he find?
Sure. Feel over here.
I will feel over there.
And just like Ozen, it looks like there's nothing there, but you feel something very, very solid.
There's a wall here. But it's not a wall. I don't see the wall. What? Could someone explain this?
Morpheus says it's Theroglass. It's a kind of magic.
I like how like Ozen and Dorian both like have their personal guides.
So it's a kind of thing that is completed for keeping shelter in the area without blocking the view.
Precisely. Orpheus says, Like, a lot of the towers will have this instead of windows.
Huh.
Because it can be any size and doesn't actually have any physical limitations the way glass might.
Challenge accepted.
Wait, so, and it's cheap enough to just be bought and used everywhere then? Huh.
I mean, you don't buy it.
It's arcane.
As in, buy it to be, when I say buy it, I mean buy it to be installed into the location.
I mean, you don't install it. Well, I mean, I don't really know how they do it, but you ask some mages to come by and they essentially
Complete a ritual, which is in turn an installation of the product.
Well,
Because
sure,
technically,
but I mean,
maybe you don't have movers come in and move this thing.
So the way Valeria put it, she said it was grown.
right.
Grown?
Part of the ritual is they'll usually use seedlings and things to make the buildings occur.
Huh.
Roll an insight.
The more you know.
Well, that's a thing.
Yeah, roll an insight.
That's a 10. That's a 19.
It occurs to you that now that you think about it, every time you've seen elven architecture, there's like no sign of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Tool marks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, things are connected, but there don't seem to be any joinings, as it were. And you kind of look around the buildings and you realize that everything more or less looks as if it's all one continuous piece, even though different materials go into others. Of course, currently you are in the artisan quarter.
That's fun.
By which I mean you're in a place where fancier people go.
Yes.
So of course they get the best stuff.
Of course.
And what you'll notice when I presume you'll continue looking out for this. Once you get to the less well-to-do parts of town, there'll be signs of actual construction, and it'll be denoted by a distinctive downgrading of the sophistication of the decoration, as things are actually put together and not just formed.
Well, that's fascinating.
So, because you guys have kind of not gotten the hint so far, I'm gonna reiterate it again and tell you that I'm reiterating it this time, which unfortunately makes it seem a little bit less natural. But you are in a tavern where people are talking about things. Just wanted to point that out.
And I'm too busy eating food. It's delicious.
Right. So, me being Ozen, I'm listening for stuff.
Okay, well, most of it is in Elvish, as you might imagine, being in an Elven city.
Mm-hmm.
But your keen ears do pick out someone complaining in common about how noisy elves are, which leads you to presume that they are probably people who are also visiting the city. And you hear them talking about a job that needs to get done. And how they're going to need to act soon.
Act soon about what?
obviously they're not.
No,
They're
like
gonna
walks
talk
over
shit.
and is like, about what?
They kind of look at you and they're like, "Mind your own business."
Well, I mean, I don't want anyone getting hurt.
And one of them kind of smiles at you and is like, "Look, friend, you've got your things going on, I'm sure. I imagine you don't appreciate people butting into what you're planning. Consider showing other people that same courtesy." And he kind of gives the sort of "let's get going" head jerk that people do from time to time. I feel like there's a word for that, but I cannot remember words today. And the other two get up and is like, "We gotta go meet I don't know, let's say Polly."
I think one of us should keep an eye on them.
What?
Yes, I teleported. So those guys I walked over to, I think we should probably keep an eye on them.
Okay. Well, why?
They were complaining about how elves are loud, and honestly, they should have looked into that before they came visiting. If
It's
they really thought elves were that loud.
Think of a travel plan. Did not expect.
It's like
But they were saying some things that could be taken maliciously, and given our history, I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
Do you want us to go after them?
That's what I'm.
time to engage Dorian's super spy.
Dorian Super Spy engaged.
Dun, 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 dun.
We haven't seen Dorian's super spy since you're running with the Children of Light.
Dorian will put his hood up and just, do what he
right,
does.
that was when we had to go visit the Necrodancer, and you had to get
Yep.
his grimoire for him.
Yep, and somehow kept rolling really good stealth. Doesn't look stealthy at all, but that's Dorian.
All Dorians should be.
So as you're sitting there, you realize that the elves who had been accompanying you are kind of not at the table any longer.
Yeah. Elson, I'll let you figure that out, and tell me what they look like again?
They.
I wasn't paying attention, this stew is just so delicious. You should try some.
I'm probably just being paranoid. Let's just relax.
Sure, I'm gonna pretend that you told me something. And by pretend, I mean I'm gonna go and disappear into the crowd and see if I can figure out who he was talking to and stalk him.
The red person is not going to stick out at all.
Got my hood up. I disappear in the crowds like this. It's an urchin life,
Ozan, you realize where Orifir and Ilaria have gotten off to. They appear to have joined into the merrymaking going around.
Going in.
Do you know the steps?
I'm going to watch, and so I'm going to roll perception, and
This should be good. Okay. I'm going to need you to make a perception check and I guess we'll call it acrobatics.
I was going to say, if I didn't do well, on getting the steps, I would just watch. Oh, that's probably not very good, but you know what? I'm trying.
Mhm.
Fuck.
Two left feet today.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you left your right foot in one of the carts. So you just got your left foot and your spare left foot. And you're quite clumsy, but no one seems to really mind. All right, Dorian, what are you up to?
I'm gonna disappear into the crowd as best as I can to watch see who's leaving and try and figure out if it's a small group, if any of the people who are leaving the tavern are the small group of humanoids that Ozen was talking about.
Let's see.
Just so I can try to figure out who to follow.
Oh wow! I never realized your city's secrets ability is pretty freaking good.
Yeah, it's double speed in the city, yeah. And I can go through smaller passages. Very useful skill.
All right, so you're gonna need to look for the dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Roll me a perception.
Good.
Wow. All right, so you spot them and you begin trailing them,
Mm-hmm.
weaving through the alleys and things.
Sticking to crowds whenever I can, that kind of stuff.
And
Pick up a newspaper, cut 2 holes inside a newspaper to watch them through the newspaper.
yeah, sure.
Maybe even get some charcoal, smudge it onto my face, and totally have a moustache.
You follow
Are you
them.
on a monocle too?
Draw a monocle as well with charcoal.
I just realized that this place is missing a bridge between the artisan quarter and the trading quarter.
Yeah. I assume they just have orcs on both sides and they just throw people across.
I assume that was just an oversight because otherwise there's literally no way to get from one half of the city to the other without going through the fucking palace.
Mm-hmm. And I don't feel like that.
No.
I
Anyhow.
mean, what about that glass that they were talking about? Maybe it's made out of that.
Yes, it's an invisible bridge.
That wouldn't
True.
be terrifying at all.
But at the same time, yeah, I'll live with that.
Oh dear.
You just got markings on both sides of where it joins. You just have to go in roughly straight line or follow the crowds. We only lose 5 people a day into this river.
Here we go. I can fix it. Go to the map layer. Oh,
Then bring your front.
I didn't actually put the map into the map layer. I guess in fairness, it's not like we were doing tokens or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So then I need to turn this into an object. So it's a drawing. It's not actually a thing. And oh. Actually, that'd be a little bit of a weird placement for it, wouldn't it? How about here? Where there's a little bit of... It's not quite away. Actually, no, there's no place even for a road. Okay, so it would have to be like down here, wouldn't it?
So it'd be down there, or maybe just about connecting at that point there.
That,
Maybe.
oh, like over the waterfall.
Yeah. So it's like directly overlooking the waterfall kind of thing.
Actually, I don't know. That's not a road. Actually, that's just marking where the cliff is.
Yeah, but you know what? It's fine.
You know
You
what?
you walk along the cliff, and you walk across the bridge.
I'm going with it's down there.
Sure.
It just makes more sense.
Hmm.
All right, so you follow them in through this bridge here, which looks different to the other bridges. Interestingly enough,
Must be just an elven thing, you know.
those were built by dwarves. This is the Elven Bridge, which is a lot more unnecessarily ornate.
Obviously.
And this is where I'm going to start bringing in tokens, just so that we can keep up with who's where. So Ozen and everybody is kind of here in a tavern. All right. Now Dorian, you followed these people down toward the docks.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of keep an eye on them from the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that they meet up with this kind of older human gentleman. He's got very nice clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And large, deep-set spectacles.
Huh.
And a beard that's kind of started graying a little bit. Kind of like a salt and pepper beard.
Wonderful.
And they seem to be chatting about something.
Fascinating. What do I have?
How to check a ship.
What's the range of that?
I love how the session 0 has basically just started continuing again.
Yep, it really has. Just from a third person view.
From the other side.
Which really also really disappointing because Ozen's not here to see this. There's only Dorian here. Oh dear. How far away am I roughly? Am I too far away to hear them?
We'll call it 20 feet.
20 feet. Okay, what can I hear at the moment?
Well, they're not speaking very loudly, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
You could theoretically see if you could find a way to get closer.
20 feet, you said?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cast Detect Thoughts.
Oh. Fascinating.
Detect Thoughts, I'll copy and paste this massive fucking spell.
I can probably find it in the compendium.
Yeah, that's way too big to just read.
Detect thoughts. Oh my good lord.
Yeah, it's quite a bit.
For the duration, you can read the thoughts of certain creatures. When you cast the spell in your action, blah blah blah, you can focus your mind on one creature that you can see within 30 feet. Which one?
One of the people... Yeah, one of the people who left the Talon.
Okay.
Probably whichever one looks like is leading the group.
Alright, you initially learn the surface thoughts. Okay, so the first thoughts you get... Damn, it's cold. Why do we have to come so far north this late in the year? And you're like, this professor guy seems, a lot... I think he seems a lot more, talked up than he really is in person. I had higher expectations. God, I wish I could.
Into my soul here.
He's like, God, I wish I could have had that, or excuse me, gods, I wish I could have had that mulled wine. The elves might be assholes, but they do good wine.
Dear.
Those are kind of his surface thoughts.
Probe deep in the creative mind.
And then you
Someone's
get
reading
something
through.
about the job. And then you're
And
like,
I'm gonna probe deeper.
okay.
So they must do a wisdom saving throw against a DC of 16. Jesus Christ, they just about succeeded. Now the question is, do they figure out?
Well, actually they haven't. Because they have a -1 modifier.
Beautiful.
So. Yeah. Turns out wisdom isn't very useful in their line of work.
Oh dear. I just kept reading the spell. Either way, the target knows you probed into his mind unless you ship him back to the... They can try to contest it if I continue to try and probing, but they will figure out, someone's listening to my thoughts. Oh shit. It's too late, I've done it!
Unless you shift your attention into another creature's thoughts. Okay, so you'll get this one probe for free, and then you have to switch.
Yes.
Okay, so you probe deeper, and he's thinking about how they've got to break in to this enchanting shop in order to get this object for the professor.
Oh no.
Because the professor thinks that it will help him on his expedition. He thinks with the quotes on the expedition. he doesn't quite believe this professor, but that's what he's been told.
Interesting. And I will then move my detect thoughts to the professor if he's within range.
Okay. You move your thoughts to the professor, and the first thought you hear is, these chumps. And you hear, sometimes I wonder about the Orders Network. And those are the professor's surface thoughts.
Interesting. Do I want to probe deeper? Yeah, fuck it. I'm going to try to probe deeper into my own alternative character. Good luck, Brandon.
Good luck, me.
Good luck in trying to figure out what the fuck's happening. She's gonna be thinking, oh shit.
Well, you don't know that.
Failed. Yeah. Okay. So you begin probing deeper, and you learn that the professor's deeper thoughts center on looking for some kind of lost knowledge in a temple under the ocean, deeper into the elven territories.
Huh. Interesting.
She's not really sure what to find, but you're not really quite sure about this, but apparently the Order's diviners said it, so it must be something to it.
And with that, I will stop my probing.
Okay.
Whew.
You say good luck like I didn't have a plan.
I'm more interested to see how much you're going to. It's getting too hard too. That's that more figuring out what to dispense. And
well, it's like think about the way you think about things, right? You don't
Mhm.
think about the full title of something every time you think about it, right? You think about whatever you think of it as whatever your shorthand is for it. Like there's sometimes where I think about something in terms of its acronym, and then I completely forget what the fucking acronym stands for. Which is always fun. Especially in my line of work, like I have to write NPT for a lot of stuff because that's the that's the types of threadings that things have.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember exactly what it stands for even right now.
Hmm.
Oh, I think I remember now. It's National Pipe Thread, which is a set of standardized threading in the United States.
Right, so Dorian will now make some distance between himself and the group.
Mm-hmm.
So you can still see them, but out of earshot, kind of thing.
Make a stealth check for me. You knew it was going to happen eventually.
Yep, I was waiting for it. Not that character sheet.
It's like
This
there
one.
are things that I wanted to happen, and so I didn't bother with it. Wow,
That's the 19.
fucking hell. Dorian
Dorian
Super
Superspy.
Spy strikes again. Alright, so, you kind of stick to the shadows, you fall back a little bit.
Yeah, just so I'm out of earshots, I go to my earring and say, "Hey, hey, Ozen."
What's up?
Oh, good, you're here. I thought you'd be too busy drinking and enjoying the party. I followed the guys.
And
They've met some professor person, and they're looking to you. You remember the magic shop that we went to, right?
yeah.
They're looking to rob the magic shop.
All right, I'll meet them there. I'll pretend I'm the shop owner, and we can flank them.
Sure, that sounds sensible enough. I will see you at the shop, I guess. I'm gonna keep following these people.
Okay. Ozen?
I guess I'm gonna go over to where the shop was.
All
Are you
right.
gonna take Are you gonna take the elves?
Yeah.
I mean, if there are too many people with me, then they might be like, "You're not a shop owner."
So we're just gonna leave them in the
I
tavern.
mean, no fear there.
Yeah, so just making that clear.
Okay. So you're going to wait outside the shop then?
Yeah.
Right.
Interesting.
Certainly a unique strategy.
Definitely a strategy. Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna pose like I'm walking up for the night. You did say the sun was going down, so
Yeah, that was like an hour ago.
You
Remember,
never know.
the sun started going down, you guys were walking through the street, Ilaria did a performance, you went into a tavern, you ordered food, you had a little bit of eating and drinking, you learned about Theraglass. Time has passed, just saying.
Mm-hmm. But maybe the guy was working late. That happens. Found something interesting. Kept looking at it as night fell and went, "Oh God, I have to get going now.
As you arrive at the shop, it looks dark and closed.
Good. I can pretend I'm just walking up now. I use the tools from my thieves kit to make it look like I'm walking the place up.
Okay, sure. Give me a tool check.
I think performance would be more accurate, but okay. Shit.
Nice.
Okay, so you got very lucky. The guard didn't notice your phubbing as you drop a very obvious thieves' tool onto the ground.
But I'm not actually breaking and entering, I'm just...
I know, but still, if you're a guard and you see someone at a door and then they drop a lock-picking tool,
Okay, fair
regardless
enough.
of what they may actually be doing, what is your assumption going to be?
That is fair enough.
Dorian, about this time, you follow them to the square.
Mm-hmm.
And you've just kind of been following them from the shadows, and you see them kind of spot Ozen. And then they kind of look at each other for a moment, and one of them kind of jerks his head toward an alley, and they head toward it.
I will make my way to... Yeah, I'll make my way to an alley, another alley nearby, nearish by.
Okay. Can you give me a perception?
Perception. And has the professor joined, or does the professor stay behind? Just checking.
The professor split off from them a while ago and went into a tavern.
Okay. Cool.
And these guys have now, your perception is good enough that you can see that they kind of appear to be keeping an eye on the shop front.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of watching what's going on.
I'll tap my earring. Hey, Ozen, they've spotted you.
I pretend I'm turning the... Well, I pretend I'm having trouble turning the lock, and then I finally be like, there we go. And I walk away, putting it in my pocket.
Okay. Dorian, you see them kind of signaling something to each other with hand signs.
Oh shit! They know how to speak with their hands.
And you see they part ways. One seems to be going up the alley around behind the buildings, and the other looks like he's going to head out into the main thoroughfare.
I'll relay this to Ozen as I just continue to watch. Just like, actually no. I'll tell Ozen about the one that's in the main thoroughfare and start following the one that's making his way behind.
Okay.
Just watch for now. Just watching.
You as you follow him, you see that he begins heading up the street. seems to be getting himself into a position. And he makes his way up into the top, to the roof of a building. He's actually quite agile.
Interesting.
And he seems to just kind of be hunkering down.
I'll just like see him for half a minute or so before I turn, and through another alley make my way back towards the shop to see who the people who are there.
What are you
How
up
many
to,
people
Oza?
is the group?
2.
2. Okay.
Then I follow the other one by looping around.
You're going to try and follow a person?
Maybe. I don't know. I assume I'm gonna roll slow.
Roll perception 1 to see if you can spot him. I guess you can have advantage since you should theoretically know what you're looking for since you saw them in the first place.
Well, I did tell him. I don't think he needs the advantage, but...
Okay. So you spot him, and he's the one who was not so eloquent as the other.
Oh, great.
And he kind of seems to be walking down the street. You see him go right past the shop.
Huh. I relate to Dorian. You said they were going to break into the shop?
That's alright. They might have noticed something.
You just passed me and didn't break in.
Well, the other one's in... The other one's taking some sort of position.
Yeah. I'll corner this other guy or something. As I fail to do a stealth check. Wait, what?
That's pretty alright. Stealth.
Yes, it is.
So is the other guy gonna try and notice me, or...
Takes a moment. He doesn't notice you. Alright, I'm just reading through some things. What?
Either something stupid or bad is going to happen. I'm just saying that out of character.
Wow. That's an unfortunate role for that guy.
Yeah, it's not great. Okay. Make a God, perception save doesn't sound right.
Wisdom
Make
save?
a wisdom save. It is essentially a perception save, however.
Mm-hmm. Oof.
Wow.
He disappeared.
So you're following him for a good little ways, and then like this this like group of elves come out of a building singing and dancing, and they manage to pass between the two of you. And by the time they go by, you've completely lost sight of him.
No, that's an unfortunate roll.
Kind of throws the ball in y'all's court.
I'm waiting for updates from Odin.
Well, I lost him.
You what?
Some elves just doing their thing.
I recommend
Living
looking
your
around
best
for him.
life.
I'm gonna go back to the. I'm going to go back to the person that's on the roof just to keep an eye on them for the moment. See if they've moved from there. Just so we don't lose both of them.
I feel like Orpheus is like, what the hell is going on?
What do you mean?
I would feel his earrings off by now. Like he's enjoying the festivities.
Yeah, he let himself get swept up in being around his own kind again for once.
Yeah, I'm gonna personally move back to see if I can still see the guy on the roof, if he's moved or not.
Alright, give me a perception check with advantage.